Hello everybody and welcome back to Valdis story. As always, I'm DW. Last time we fought the Eye of Alagath as well as doing some other optional stuff. And this time we are going to fight the two remaining optional bosses and then take on the final boss. So first up, to fight the Eye of Morgado, we are going to want to talk to Starry here and buy ourselves a poison elixir, or poison resistance, or anti-venom elixir, whatever. We could have also gone with the fire elixir, as you'll see soon, because we're going to be dealing with a lot of fire and a lot of poison, but personally I think poison is the deadlier of the two. So welcome back to the pit. You might remember it. We were here very briefly, and now we have the ability to get past these annoying spikes. So the run-up to Morgado is kind of hell. There's a lot of just really tough enemies. These upgraded demons, fully upgraded demons, are just a pain in the ass. And the way the rooms are laid out, it makes it very hard to run away. And as you saw there, these big ogre guys have just, throughout the entire video, they're just going to be grabbing me left and right. I don't know why, I just could not avoid their grabs. So, here we are in the main puzzle room right before the battle. This usually gives me a lot of trouble, but this time around, I don't know, I was able to get through it pretty easily. I think they did change the room around since I had last gone through it. But I don't actually know. The music in the pit is kind of really cool. I kind of dig it. So, here we are with our little cutscene. Just like with Alagath, there's a low-level enemy that she's going to take over, I guess. So, this fight used to be, I think, the hardest battle in the game. That's no longer the case. I'm not sure if they've altered the fight itself a bit, or I just got better. But also the other secret boss is just way harder. Having a summoned friend here is a lot helpful. It's very helpful because just like in the other fight, you can sort of draw aggro for you. And I totally forgot to change up to the right helper and the right magic, but it's fine. Lightning Chain is just so helpful. Parrying Morgado is also really good strategy, as I'm sure you probably have guessed. You can parry pretty much all of her moves if you're good, unlike me. One thing I decided a little too late is this, special gray armor, it's not good. I didn't realize when I had initially equipped it that it drains your mana, it uses basically your mana bar as your health. And I end up going through my mana a lot in these two optional fights before I decide to change it. But yeah, that poison wave attack is pretty much the reason why I got the anti-venom elixir. It can just be, it's a lot more damaging than it seems. An interesting thing actually that I thought about, that I just remembered about this fight that we will not be seeing in this LP is, if we were playing as Aladdin, he has an ability to summon demons. And if you summon demons in this fight, they turn on you, and it's an interesting mechanic. It's an interesting thing to how I don't know. It's interesting. I'm just gonna stumble on all my words because fuck it. It's not like I'm doing another commentary or trash after this or anything. So when I recorded this video, it was about maybe 2 months or so after I had played the game, so I was a bit rusty, and that certainly did not help with this at all. With that jutsu attack, like parry attack, you can't actually get outside the gate. I don't think your hitbox actually changes or anything. It's just a graphical switch, as far as I'm aware. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this fight, so I'll just be quiet and let you enjoy the pretty sweet battle. So there we have it. The Eye of Nargato down. I did alright. I mean, A rank, that's pretty good. So let's explore the pit a bit. If we go up this way, we cannot make that jump. I don't know what I was thinking. But if we go up this way, we're greeted with yet another hallway of kind of... It's a pretty tough encounter, but fortunately we can skip past it. This room, on the other hand, is kind of a pain in the ass. I don't have the NB, great. I figure I believe... Yeah, I'd pretty much just say, screw it, and just tank the damage. Who cares? So, this hallway is really difficult. There are these spikes here, and if you don't jump just right, you're not going to make it up. It's incredibly precise. I don't quite understand why it's so precise, but the hitbox on the spikes is really bizarre. Like, they're slightly larger than they seem. So anyway, we're going back to Isk. So now, to fight the other secret boss, we are going to equip ourselves with a warm elixir, because... And we're going to go back here. Wow, I did this editing maybe a little too quickly. Anyway. So we're back in the Engineer's Palace. we have our warm elixir. We're going through an area that I skipped. And apparently I did not have enough lightning shields used to get through there. There we go. I'm sure we'll make great use of that grand agate. Now we're back in the mana crystal mines. So you might remember that there was kind of an explosion and we couldn't like get back in here the normal way. So there are two back ways into the mana crystal mines, one through the engineer's palace, as you just saw, another through the pit. That is where we want to go, but let's go check out the other exit just for completion's sake. Ooh, an ancient coin. So the enemies in these little side rooms are, they're much stronger. I mean, generally you don't see these spider ladies anywhere other than, you know, the side areas. I guess this is still technically a side area. So you might have remembered this room for where we got, what was his name? Oh well, whatever. We go to the room where we collected, is it Sir Pancakes? The Time Corgi? This divine door will bring us to the top of that hallway. Anyway, let's go back through the store now. So welcome to the Hall of the Fallen. This area has these incredibly difficult enemies that take a lot of damage. And once they die, you have to hold your magic button, and that's the only way that you can beat them. Those ball and chain guys are nothing compared to these weird Anubis-looking guys who will knock you around. They have a shield, you can only hit them from the back. You can parry them to stun them, of course, but I can't because I'm garbage. And there's also these weird little hands that you'll see popping up. I believe they actually drain your mana, or they might just deal damage to you over time. They're just really annoying. You can only avoid them by dashing out of their direction. So this room is very annoying because I did not want to make a situation where I had to fight both of them. And unfortunately, that guy just kept retreating. So some interesting things about the ball and chain guys. You can only hit them from the front because they have that weird brown shield that prevents them from taking damage. And unfortunately, I was not able to get to that guy in time. Because Anubis is a real dick. Music here is also really good. The music in this game is really good. So here we have an interesting little mini-boss. It's the Shadow. It's random who it is. I'm pretty sure it's never the character you're playing as. In my test run, I got, what's her name? Completely forgot her name. Oh my god. The actual protagonist of the game. The blonde-haired gal. Anyway, there she is. She's the helper now that I summoned. I'm a mess. Anyway. So the Shadow fight, as far as I'm aware, just uses the same AI that your helpers use. It's an alright battle. It kind of depends on who you get. I think Vlad is kind of one of the easier ones. What's her name was a lot more difficult, I will tell you that. But But just like some of the other enemies, you can kind of just knock them into the corner and, you know, chain lightning them over and over again. Or lightning chain them. Yeah, so yet another boss goes down to bleed. So we don't get anything for that, but we do have a save point. Those are always appreciated. Unfortunately, we have another hallway of these guys, and this time around, there are two of these Anubis-looking guys. And the ball and chain guy. Oh, two ball and chain guys. Alright, well, it must be the other room that I'm thinking of. You know, this area is just a little too repetitive, because it's just a long straight hallway with like these essentially mini bosses, because these guys are tough. And these annoying hands, it's admittedly not a fantastic area, but that is so rad that you can parry that from so far away. What's especially annoying about this is that I'm pretty sure that's the boss door for the actual boss area. I feel this area would be much better set with maybe if it was just like the hallway up to the shadow boss, the save point, and then the actual boss. Like, that would have been fine. I don't know. Or if there was like an arena, like a side arena where you fought like a bunch of these guys instead. Anyway, here's the ultimate super hard third optional boss. Leylodin, I believe is how you pronounce that. Leylodin is, she's really tough. This is my second attempt at her, and I'm gonna just spoil it. I don't beat her, which is unfortunate because what you get from her is kind of cool, and not seeing that kind of makes a lot of other stuff in this LP kind of unnecessary. Oh well. So she has three forms. She has this form, which is, you know, not too dissimilar from either of the eye fights, at least in sort of structure. Like, she's, you know, much less teleporty, but she does have that dash. After you get her down to about maybe 2/3 health, she'll summon a tiger buddy, and that really makes the fight just so much harder because she has the same moves and usually, you know, a meat shield to help absorb some damage. So it's really hard to get a hit on her then with Wyatt. I guess it's more about down to about half health before she summons her tiger friend. There we go. Got Tiger Buddy out now. I guess more of a lion. Maybe it's a lion. I don't know. That was really terrible. Anyway. So, this fight... Oh, man. This fight's brutal. Her third form, which we will not be seeing, unfortunately, is, I guess, sort of structurally similar to, like, the Abomination fight. At least in that she becomes kind of stationary in the center of the room, and sort of like just sort of hits you with a bunch of like lasers and stuff. At least from what I remember. I've only fought it maybe once or twice. So, that's the big annoying thing about the tiger, is the tiger can grab you, and you're not invincible when grabbed. Also, Lodin doesn't seem to be affected by launchers, or if she is, you must really have to stun her. So it's a little harder to like juggle her. The Eye of Morgado was like that too, but yeah, unfortunately, we're just gonna have to go and complete the game. How about we go do that? Just listen to that failure music. Anyway, so here we are back. You might remember this area. I think we visited it once. We talked to Moria. Oh, hey, you remember that thing that we got? So the Life Blade is the most powerful focus finisher, but it costs you 75% of your current HP. I don't know. I don't like it. I've never found its damage to be super powerful, to be honest. So, the area onward to the final boss is pretty cool, I guess. It is kind of just a straight line like the Hall of the Fallen. But, I don't know, it's kind of interesting. They make you refight this boss. Remember this boss? But now you have a friend, so that's nice. This fight is a little different. I don't quite know why they make you refight this boss, but the lasers are in a different spot. That's cool. It kind of just seems like a bit of padding, to be honest. But you can wall jump off of the boss's face, and look, that's rad. That's never not rad. Unfortunately, you can't grapple to it with the lightning chain. So we don't gain anything from defeating that. It's kind of just like a mini-boss. Here we have this room, which is usually no problem, but sometimes these little critters just like to mess everything up. Not this time. So if we were to fall here, we'd have to walk all the way back. Unfortunately, we don't. And welcome to the penultimate final boss. This boss was originally the final boss, and to be quite honest, is a much better final boss than what is now the final boss. I really like this fight. I wouldn't say that it's my favorite in the entire game. I think that actually goes to the Eye of Morgado. But I don't know, this boss is just cool. It's in this nice big arena. It has some interesting gimmicks that we'll be seeing. Not only do they have interesting powers. Oh, and I forgot to mention, you might know this. I have a different armor equipped. So, yeah, I decided to go and change to a different type of armor. I did that between one of the many edits, after the retry. Anyway, so after some point in this battle, she'll sort of go into like this invincibility phase where she will heal if you do not destroy those two crystals. So you want to go up there, destroy those two crystals, then you have to kill all the enemies in the room. Sometimes they can be up on the ceiling here, and that's kind of annoying. They are always in the same place, so, you know, it's just unfamiliarity on my part. Unlike most of the other bosses in the game, I did not actually do a test run because I had fought this boss so much. didn't think I would need it. Why don't we get a friend of our own? So the first priority whenever she goes invincible is always to take out the crystals. It's good to kill the enemies along the way if you can, but you really just want to make sure she's not killed. Although, looking at the health bar, it looks like she heals even after the crystals are destroyed. I just noticed that. Huh. My entire life is a lie, I suppose. But yeah, this boss is just very active and, I don't know, has kind of an interesting moveset. I believe she uses just about every element on you. Oh, and hey, remember these fire sirens? Well, now we get to fight 2 of them. And they're tough. A little tough. That's my thoughts on this guy. The armor that I'm wearing now gives us a bonus when we're at low health. And I did not even see that little critter guy. So we deal more damage when we're at low health, that's what I was trying to say. You might notice sometimes I will just kind of like walk up to a boss and just like guard, just like trying to anticipate their attack. That is a pro strat I learned from fighting games, where I'll walk up block. Oh, we actually had to use a potion, that's no good. Well, there goes our S rank. We weren't going to get an S rank. So there goes the first phase of Anemone. You can see her head popped off. Yeah, we got an A rank, that's pretty good. Yay, 20 more HP. I'm sure that will come in handy. So, how do you guys like cutscenes and exposition? Oh, I wonder who this is. It's of course Valdis. I really like the way she does not have a text box. I think that gives a nice impression, like maybe she's just speaking directly into the characters' heads or something. Her design is also pretty rad with her weird like hair horns. Yeah. So yes, as it turns out, Rena, which past Dave, that was her name, Rena is the third daughter of Valdis, and hence why she's the actual main character of the game. So now in classic Metroidvania style, we're gonna have to escape from this place that's crumbling all of a sudden. We've got plenty of time, and fortunately, well, the timer's not really not all that important. It's the least of our concerns. It does help when you don't mess up like that. Unfortunately, the escape sequence does not have its own music, but this boss battle music fits. So, I could have sworn they've changed this room quite a bit. Or at least, I don't remember there being spikes here. Anyway, let's go fight the final boss. So this used to be the ending of the game. Like, you just get here, this, essentially the same cutscene would play out, but there would be no fight, and then you'd have, you know, the rest of the cutscene, and, well, it would just roll credits. But, there's an update. I want to say the update from, like, I want to say they added this current final boss, not too long after the release of the game. Like maybe like 9 or 8 months afterwards or something like that. So this final boss is not great. Not only is the room boring, this fight, if you don't build your character a certain way, you're gonna have a lot harder of a time on this fight. Like if you do an agility build or build your character to have a lot of hits but not a lot of damage, you're just not going to be able to. It's just going to take. This fight is just going to take forever. Fortunately, since we are a strength build, we're not going to have that hard of a time with it. So the main gimmick is you have to knock down her shield, then it goes into this weird tornado phase where these bombs come. And you have to knock them back at her face. And depending on the amount of damage you do to the bombs is the amount of damage she'll take. So if we had the ultimate focus finisher on her, you can deal incredible amounts of damage to her if you are at max health. But I don't really like to go that route because I feel that's a little too risky. Another comment, you might notice that I had summoned a character when Rena and the other gal is supposed to be helping to stabilize the barrier or something. But yeah, you can still summon them, so that's kind of funny. It's nice to have two helpers in this fight too. It's also kind of cool. So the tentacles will get up after you knock them down for a little bit, so you have to be very careful. But also, one side attacks with all the dark elements, the other side attacks with all the light elements. So, like, the side that I'm on now deals, void damage, fire damage, and poison damage, where the other side deals ice, light, and I think it's cold or something. I don't know what the element's actually called. But yeah, that's pretty much all this fight is. Like it doesn't really change at all. Unfortunately, the helpers do not target the bombs, but they will help you with these little critter guys. Unfortunately, those critter guys can also freeze you, which is very annoying, and that's why we kept the cold potion. Also, if you did not have the cold potion, we'd be taking damage over time because this area is cold. So yeah, after a while, she'll start to do this like fire phase. Eventually, it'll be other elements as well. It'll sort of cycle through fire, ice, and lightning. The fire can be kind of tricky to dodge if you're not ready for it. I kind of had forgotten about it during that first time it showed up. But once you get it down, it's not that hard to dodge. So there we go. Easy to dodge the fire now. Once we know it's although that last one is a big bitch. So, after a while, once you get her down to about half health, she'll set up this, like, weird crystal with the other tentacles. In the past, I've had it be like alternate sides, but in this recording, it would only go from the right side, which is weird, and I don't understand. But while that crystal is up, she will just regenerate her shield just so fast that you can't feel anything. And it usually likes to happen just as you get down. Just get her shield down to the very bottom. See, just like that. And all it does is serve to prolong the fight, and it's just really frustrating. And I don't know why they thought it was a good idea, to be honest. Because the most annoying thing is, like, you can't hit her head in any other way. Like, this is what you have to do. It's not like the other battles in the game where you can, you know, where depending on how you have your character built, you can do some more interesting things. I mean, I don't know. This fight is just kind of disappointing. It's really cool looking, I have to say. I do like just like the general design, but I think there's a reason why there's not too many large bosses in this game. Here we get some ice. The ice is really easy to dodge, but it does bounce. So it's probably pretty obvious that I'm literally just mashing, just jump and light attack. It just is this, you know, flurry of sword hits that seems to be the most efficient, but it really lacks finesse and it's not very interesting at all. And that was a weird graphical glitch. At least as far as I'm aware, she's only supposed to have those 3 tentacles, but oh well, I guess she has more. So something I just realized that I forgot to mention. If we had beaten Leodin, we would have gotten access to a secret store that will let us sell our, or let us use our Tamahagane that we've been collecting all this game, for the entirety of the game. We could have bought Wyatt's ultimate weapon, as well as bought level ups. And so the level up cap is not 20, but it is much higher than 20. I don't know why I did not see the crystal to go beat it up. I don't know what I was doing. But anyway. So yeah, I was kind of saving all my Tahamagane for, like, just to show off this cool final weapon. Apparently, Wyatt's isn't very good. It's some sort of, like, sword and shield, from what I've heard. Yeah, I believe we are on the final phase of this boss, finally. Oh, we're so close. And there we have it. Hey, we got an A rank. That's pretty good. We get nothing. We get nothing for an A rank. So here's the ending. Oh, yeah, that is where it regenerates from. So it looks like Wyatt loses an arm. Probably needs that arm. And kind of goes all Super Saiyan, like Berserker Rage. Taps into his mommy's demon power. And yeah. That's probably not good. Maybe it'll be fine. So you might be wondering, how did they escape all these things after the dome collapsed? Well, the answer is, of course, monster whales. And that goes for everybody, as far as I'm aware. I believe, since we had saved all the towns, we will actually be get a special scene. There are 3 special scenes that you can get. One for doing each of the eye bosses, and then for saving all the towns, as far as I'm aware. So there it mentions that this game was made in Game Maker Studio, and as somebody who is a hobbyist game developer and uses Game Maker Studio, one thing I have to say, this game doesn't feel like it's a Game Maker game, and like a lot of platformers have a very specific feel, and this game doesn't have that. Anyway, here's our special scene from Mergado. Isn't she a cutie with that big grin and that pig nose? Turns out that is Wyatt's mother. But who's this? It's Wyatt's younger sister, who has bandages, which I imagine they probably do not offer much support, you know, for, well, whatever. Anyway. So I really do hope that they are working on a sequel of some sort. Even if it's not necessarily a direct sequel, I think it would be cool to kind of go back and play as Valdis, and kind of play out her sort of rise to power. I think that would be pretty nifty. You know, I think the lore for what it is, the story for what it is, like it's not amazing, but it's fine. Hey, and there's all the leaders for all 4 towns, so at least they escaped. But yeah, I don't know. I think I can appreciate the lore because at least there's a consistency to it. Like, you know, if I were in high school, I would probably be like way into the lore of this game, but as of now, you know, it's while it is maybe a little cringeworthy, it's still pretty. At least it's consistent. It's not full of like terrible plot holes. And they thank me for playing. I love when games do that. Every game should do that. So, let's see our rankings. Hey! So for some reason there was like an achievement bug and I had never gotten those achievements for whatever reason. Anyway, got mostly A's and S's on boss fights, so I guess I'm pretty satisfied with that. Apparently I did not get all of the items or the map, but whatever, who cares about that? That's not important. Anyway, I've been DW, thank you for watching.